If you're an introvert and you struggle to ask women out on dates, then this video is for you because I'm going to reveal 7 tips for introverts specifically. And stick around to the end because I've got a bonus tip, which is probably the most important tip out of all the tips. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right. Listen, I completely can relate to you guys that are introverts. And I consider myself a social introvert. But what is an introvert and how do you know that you're an introvert versus an extrovert? So, one of my friends that I met here in Atlanta, and I moved here from Canada, and I've been living in Atlanta for 17 months. I moved here for my work. And I was sitting down one time and he said, "Oh, do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?" And I said, "You know what? I'm not really sure." And he said, "This is how you know if you're an introvert or extrovert." And he said this. He said, "When shit hits the fan, do you right away call your friends and family wherever they are and want to reach out to people to share what's going on? Or do you climb under a rock and essentially need some time to think about everything?" And my response to him was, "Well, I climb under a rock. I don't go to people right away when shit hits the fan." And so then he said, "Well, that means you're an introvert." So how you react to how shit hits the fan is a clear marker of whether or not you are an extrovert or introvert. Do you need people around to comfort you, or do you basically deal with all that yourself? So again, as I mentioned, I consider myself a social introvert. So I do have that advantage. But this video is specifically for those that maybe don't have the strong social skills and meeting people and things. And so I'm going to get into the 7 tips right away. All right. And make sure you stick around to the end because I've got a bonus tip. So, excuse me. And I'm just taking a look at all my notes because I didn't want to miss anything. All right. So number 1 is, first of all, you need to level up your style game. Like, if you're going to go out and meet people, it's like playing video games, right? And most introverts love to play video games. So I'm going to say this is something that you can probably relate to. You can't take on a level 50 boss without leveling up your skills in order to reach a point where your skills can take on this level 50 boss. And it's not a great comparison, but let's just say women that are 7, 8s, and 9s, and they're younger and they're hot, they're really attractive. Let's say they're level 50 bosses, okay? You know, it's not the greatest example, but whatever, just bear with me. Well, for you to be successful, getting connected, like making a connection and a match, whether it's online or just in person with a 7, 8, or 9 woman that's very attractive, right, takes some skills. Asking her out and getting her to commit to go out with you on that date takes some skills. So you see what I mean? Everything takes skills. So one of the things that I want to mention in terms of the tip, the first tip is you need to level up your style game. You need to stop dressing like an introvert. Stop dressing like you never leave the house, like you look like a grandpa. You need to add some style and some swag to your wardrobe. Okay, this video is not about style, but let me know in the comments if you'd like me to go into some videos about that. It's not really my forte to do videos on style tips because there's tons and tons of content on YouTube about that. But basically, you need to dress like you are an alpha male, that you've got some swag, you've got some style. You need to probably wear clothing that is a size lower than you typically order because your clothes are probably too fucking bulky. Even if you're a heavyweight guy, you need to wear clothes that make you look slimmer. And it kind of goes against what you're probably thinking. Well, whoa, wait a minute. If I'm a big guy and I wear a bit baggy and I wear a tight shirt, it's going to make me look bigger. No, it's actually the opposite, right? So, and you can buy clothes that complement whatever shape you have. So Upgrading your style is a key thing. And again, this video is not about style, but I'm just going to leave you with that tip. You need to stop dressing like an introvert and someone who never leaves the house. Like, stop wearing the damn t-shirt when you go out, right? Unless you're wearing a jacket over top of it, or you have the body to wear a t-shirt. But in general, t-shirts are bad news typically. So that's just an example. So that's number one, is you need to level up your style game. All right. Number two is when I talked about getting out of the house. That's number two. You need to get your fucking ass out of the house, right? Stop spending all your time indoors at your place, playing video games, watching TV series, watching movies. Get out. That's the only way you're going to meet people. Otherwise, you have no choice but to rely on dating apps. And that's mostly, I'm sorry guys for watching it, it's mostly for beta males and simps dating apps, because it tells me that you can't meet women organically. And you're so desperate to have relationships and go out on dates that you have to rely on dating apps, right? I don't need dating apps. I almost never use dating apps. I meet women all the time organically, maybe not every single week, but at least a couple times a month I'm out, I'm doing something, and I meet women. So for example, I DJ for fun, and last weekend, actually, I'm going to give you two examples of getting out, and this is the impact. So prior weekend, I met two women while I was DJing, and I got two phone numbers, okay, or Instagrams, whatever. Last night, I DJ'd a mixer in my building. And it was for free because I said, hey, look, they're putting on a party, the leasing manager and everything else, and the building manager. So I said, look, I'll bring some music if you like. Well, I met a woman at that party and got a phone number. So this is what I'm talking about, okay? It's not very difficult. Then you might say, well, yeah, well, you're a DJ. Okay, yes, that helps. But in general, I've just learned how to level up my game. And when I'm socializing, I ask questions, I get to know people, and it's very easy for me to meet people. If I'm sitting beside a woman at a restaurant bar and she's alone or she's with two girlfriends and I'm attracted to one of them, guaranteed I'll find a way to have a conversation with them, and chances are, a very good chance, I'll walk away with her Instagram or phone number. So this is what I'm talking about. All right, so number two, I don't want to go on about it, but you need to get out of the house, okay? Number three is, it's kind of a no-brainer, and hey, bear with me. You might think this is all basic stuff, but I need to ingrain this in you for you to remember, okay? So number three is you need to go to places where women go. Duh, right? And I'm not talking about grocery stores. Yes, women go to grocery stores. I'm talking about women, women go to popular restaurants, especially restaurants that are a little more on the swanky side, to say that word. Women typically don't go to sports bars, and maybe those are the type of women you're into, but type of women I'm into, especially the attractive ones and the feminine ones, typically don't go to sports bars. So you need to go to places that have some swag, okay? Cocktail lounges, as an example, or salsa lessons. Bro, you have no idea how many women I've met when I've taken salsa lessons. If you're into Latin women, okay, that's an amazing way to meet women, is when you're taking lessons of something, all right? And the other thing is house parties. You need to expand your network of people and friends that throw house parties, because damn, I've met more women at house parties than probably anywhere else. And that is a huge, huge thing. And it doesn't matter what your age is, okay? There are a lot of people that even I have friends, look, I have friends in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they all love going to house parties. So house parties are a big thing. All right, so that's number three, is go to places where women go. Number four is you need to get some women friends. And there's a lot of YouTubers and dating advice coaches out there, whatever, that say, oh, don't have any women friends. Well, you know what? Women use men, so men might as well use women. And it might as well be a mutual benefit. And that's what I'm talking about. So when having women friends, there's two benefits. One is when another woman sees you with a woman, your value already goes up versus sitting alone. That's just a fact. because she's like, well, obviously, and especially if she's good looking, well, obviously, he must be a good guy and she must trust him and she must feel safe with him. Otherwise, she wouldn't be with him, right? So women also are really great wing women, right? So if you say, hey, look, do you mind if we move over here? Because I want to strike up a conversation with this woman. The other woman that you want to speak to is going to assume that you're with her. But once you start having a conversation with her and you say, oh, hey, by the way, this is my friend Jane. And she'll realize, oh, okay, this is cool. So that's an amazing thing about having women friends. And the last thing is you can ask her, your friend, do you know anyone you think would be perfect for me? And now all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I got this friend, Christine. I think I'm going to connect you too. So that's also a great way of being connected with another woman is through women friends. Okay. So that's number 4. Number 5, practice makes perfect. So what do I mean by that? The more dates you go on, the less nervous you're going to be and the more confident you're going to be in yourself. So you might be thinking, oh, okay, Silver Bachelor, that's all fine and dandy. How do I get dates? All right. So I did talk about dating apps. So you can very well go on dating apps, right? Just sign up to, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 of them. Give it a shot. Let me know if you'd like some feedback on your profile, because I'm happy to do that, and just drop a comment, and then we can figure out how you can share that with me and I can give you some tips. So join some dating apps and try to go on some dates, right? Don't be too picky at first because you just need practice, right? So you go on some dates, you're most likely going to meet some women on dating apps for sure, right? And here are some dating apps that I recommend, not in this particular order, but the ones I recommend, especially when you're starting off. All right. So again, no particular order, and depends on your age too. So, but these 4, maybe 5. All right. So Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, Match, and then last would be maybe Plenty of Fish or something like that, or Silver Singles, whatever. Just figure out, a couple apps, get on those because you want to land some dates and you want to get some practice. Now, I'm going to give you a little silver lining on this one. So if you want to get some practice with 7s, 8s, and 9s, young, hot women, all right, you are going to have to pay for this, and paying for it might only cost you a couple $100 to go out for dinner, go out for some drinks. No, like platonic, all right, no sex. There is a website called seeking.com, and this, I'm not being sponsored about this at all because I've tried this site, and it's a sugar daddy site, straight up. Benefit is that there's very few, yes, there's some fake accounts and some bots on there, but in general, there's a lot of women on, most of the women on there are 7s, 8s, and 9s. They are under 35 for sure, mostly under 30. They're usually students and they need some extra money. And that is also, if you're into this, I've tried it, it has its place. You can go on some dates, get some practice, but you're going to have to pay for that. All right. So I just wanted to let you know about that one. All right. So that's practice makes perfect. By the way, this last thing, and I'm taking a look at my notes. Be aware of this. On all of these dating sites, on the mainstream dating apps, it's 70% dudes on the app. The users are 70% dudes. There's only 30% women on the mainstream dating apps. So those women are only looking for the top 10, 15% of men, sadly. So you're going to have to swipe a lot. You're going to have to spend a lot of time trying to get some of those dates, but you can skip the line if you're willing to pay for it and try some of these, or try one of them, because this is the only one I really recommend, is seeking.com, a sugar daddy site. All right. So that's number 5, practice makes perfect. Number 6, you need to watch more videos like this. There's tons of content on YouTube on how to level up your game and meet more attractive women, or just meet women in general. So I encourage you that. Number 7 is, let me just take a look at my notes here. All right. So number 7 is you need to approach strangers. And you might be thinking, what do you mean, man? Okay, so approaching strangers out of the blue when you have a question about directions, you're wondering where this restaurant is, or you're in a restaurant at the bar and you're curious about what's good on the menu, get more comfortable speaking to strangers. Just come up with whatever the fucking reason to ask them a question. And you ask them a question, engage in conversation, and you do that with both men and women, and it will improve your confidence, your self-esteem, and how comfortable you are speaking to people that you do not know. All right. So now for the bonus tip. The bonus tip is hanging out with alpha high value men. Okay. So let me repeat this. Hanging out with alpha high value men. How do you know a man is alpha? Well, one of the telltale signs you can tell a man is alpha is his confidence, the way he carries himself. How do you tell if a man is a high value man? Well, you can't tell right away, but once you start having conversation with him, you can go, okay, one of the traits of a high value man, and let me know in the comment what you think about this, but this is my opinion, okay? My opinion. A high value man, one of the markers is that he must make over six figures. Must make over $100,000 per year to be considered a high value man. Why am I saying that? Is because only 15% of men in North America make over $100,000. So if you're in the top 15, that means, right? A high value, the term high value means you're rare. Well, this is one of the markers that I feel makes sense in terms of a benchmark. Okay, you're rare. You're in the top 15% if you make $100,000 per year. That means 85% of men don't make that. They're not high value. That I'm just putting it out there, okay? As one of the markers. So you need to surround yourself and have more friends, male friends that have confidence, right? And confidence around other men, other women, and they make over six figures. And you can tell that by the profession they're in. If someone says they're a surgeon, duh. Someone says they're a pilot, duh. Someone says they're a lawyer, duh. Someone says, they're the CEO of this or they're a vice president of that. You could assume, you know what? I'm sure they make $100,000 or more per year, right? So you hang around guys like that, iron sharpens iron. And it will rub off on you and you'll be like, damn, man, I hang out with a lot of high value alpha men and damn, they sharpen me, right? We sharpen each other. But there's things that they will say that other men won't say to you in terms of advice and giving their thoughts and feedback. So hope you like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And even if you're an introvert, don't be discouraged because you can level up and take on that level 50 boss. All right, we'll see you next time.